What's up? Rage Raven 5678 here, and so this is going to be a much different video from what I'm used to recording because, like usual, I done a dumb thing, and of course I recorded an entire video thinking my mic was recorded, and as usual, once again, not forgetting to check my mic, I had it on mute the entire time, so I'm having to, re-record. And at first, I was so frustrated because this is the second time I had to record this episode because the first time the game crashed, so it crashed all the recording because for some reason PlayStation doesn't just, automatically clip what's been recorded before the game crashes. It just completely just wipes it off the face of the earth. So then I had to do this entire part again, and then once I ended up finishing the episode, that's when I realized that the mic was muted. So anyways, I was pretty frustrated, and then I just realized, wait a minute, I can just, commentary over this thing. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So kinda. Anyways, I'm not gonna talk for the whole 40 minutes because this would just kill me. But so essentially what we're doing right here is so we're basically because I know what's coming up, it's gonna be the game is gonna get harder because of one particular enemy and how easy they are to break your armor. And I'm, you know what, I'm starting to get to the point where I'm not even sure if I like the armor system really. The fact that your armor breaks and stuff like that is so annoying. But then again, it's more of like a, realism or, just something that gets you further involved into the fantasy realm and stuff like that. So, I don't know. If there was like in Skyrim or something like that, where I feel even more immersed, then I probably liked it. But in here, I don't know. So anyways, what we're gonna end up getting is so at first we're gonna go for a light armor build because I wanted to move around faster, but then I will find out that doing a little bit of testing that I run exactly the same speed when I run with heavy armor than I do with light armor. And maybe it's because I reached a certain level in heavy armor where I will where it doesn't really encumbers me, so I'll pretty much be moving around as if I was wearing light armor, so it doesn't really matter. So this whole first 20 minutes is pretty much pointless, so I'm gonna go ahead and skip, but we do get way better armor, and I'll go ahead and meet you there, and I'll explain what the armor does and stuff like that.
Always a pleasure.
Greetings. What news from Cloud Ruler Temple? Desperate plan indeed. This prince? Emperor? Martin would risk my whole city to gain a great sigil stone? This is the only way to stop this invasion from Oblivion? I must confess, you are the first person to speak of victory against these Daedra. This war has seemed hopeless to me. But what else was there to do but hold on and wait for a hero to arise to save us? And now it seems there is an heir to the throne after all, hidden at Cloud Ruler Temple. And perhaps a hero as well? You avoid answering my question. Very well. Don't think I doubt you. The rulers of Bruma have long had dealings with Cloud Ruler Temple. We know whom they serve. I will meet Martin at the chapel. When all is ready, I will order my men to stop closing the gates and prepare for battle. You are a diplomat as well as a warrior, it seems. I would prefer more men, of course, but if we must offer battle now, so be it. So be it. Bruma's fate is in the hands of the gods now. And yours.
Okay, and we are back with the audio recording, stuff like that. I didn't really want to speak throughout the important dialogue, so, I didn't really want to record. But anyways, but yeah, so as you can see, we got now a really ugly-ish looking like golden armor, but this thing is actually way better than the Apocalypse one I had, because even though the Apocalypse has some good benefits, it also had a lot of weaknesses, like the regenerating health, which is a nightmare, because there was like, you know, negative points to it and stuff like that. So this armor, on the other hand, it fortifies a lot of things, plus gives me even more strength, which is something that a barbarian loves. You know, especially one who has a maxed out strength of 100. So, anyways, also I realized too that what I'm probably gonna end up doing, you know, this week at some point is I'm gonna go ahead and also increase my level in mercantile, because I realized that if you increase mercantile, then you will, or merchantile, we will be getting like better stuff in the shop. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and quiet again, because this is where we make a big battle to defend Martin, but unfortunately there are going to be some sacrifices and deaths in this battle.
The Empire will stand or fall by what we do here today. Will we let the Daedra do to Bruma what they did to Kavach? Will we let them burn our homes? Will we let them kill our families? No! We make our stand here, today, for the whole of Cyrodiil. We must hold fast until the hero of Kavach can destroy their great gate. We must kill whatever comes out of that gate. Soldiers of Cyrodiil, do you stand with me?
Yeah, so here we go. So here's the epic battle that kind of gets a little bit buggy or something like that. Not everybody joins the battle. And here's something I don't understand. Why is Bethesda being Bethesda right now and not updating and patching their games? Like, I understand this kind of like, oh man, let's keep, you know, some of the you know, bugs and what made Oblivion feel like Oblivion in the game. I totally understand that, but there are some bugs that just totally obnoxious that shouldn't stay, like crashing. You know, that is really annoying. But anyways, yeah, unfortunately in this battle though, here you're only going to see like half the army fight, and it kind of sucks too, because it's like really epic, and it kind of causes some deaths that I really wish it didn't happen. But at the same time, it kind of further influences, you know, how we can keep Ragnar in Cyrodiil. Because, like, right now, you know, Ragnar, he's, you know, he still plans on going home after, you know, closing the Oblivion Gate and stuff like that. Going back home to Skyrim and, you know, letting his village know, or, you know, his clan know that he's still alive and all that stuff. But until then, you know, he's just fighting to, you know, to prevent the Daedric invasion, because he knows that, you know, once they're done with Cyrodiil, they'll probably come and try to mess up Skyrim. But again, this battle is going to give him a good reason to stay. But yeah, you can see all the nerds just sitting there doing absolutely nothing, which sucks. But we see that both Blade members are fighting, both Joffrey and Boris fighting. So, but yeah, it is, like I said, this is like the most epic this game has been so far, you know, with the huge battle and stuff like that. Or by huge, I mean like what they can do back in, like, what, 2007? Alright, and now we finally got the second, or the last final big Oblivion Gate, you know, on. So we're gonna be charging our way in there, and then the entire thing just reminded me of Doom. Cause look at that freaking thing. That is a siege engine, which we are trying to prevent from coming out of the portal, because it comes out and it's gonna attack Bruma, and we're pretty much screwed. So, and this is like very Warhammer-esque, so, and I make a almost fatal mistake there, so ignore that. Anyways, but what we're pretty much going to be doing is just bum rushing through this area here, because we only have about 14-15 minutes to close and get the Great Sigil, and this is actually a pretty long area, so I decided not to stick around it. I just, you know, again started bum rushing, which, to be honest, I think that's what everybody ends up doing when it comes to these Oblivion gates. They just go from one end to the other, just run through it. I know that Bethesda tried to mix up some of these Oblivion gates, but they can get pretty repetitive pretty quick. So I did what everyone else probably just ended up doing. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward this part because literally all you're doing is seeing me run. But it is a super awesome area. It's just a shame that you couldn't hear my reaction and voice throughout the video because me so dumb.
We won a great victory here today. We now have the means to recover the Amulet of Kings from Manca Cameron. But we need to act quickly. Cameron will not take long to recognize his danger. Remember, the portal closes behind. I'll have the ritual ready in the... The only way to close all the Oblivion gates forever is for me to relight the dragon fires in the Temple of the One. Our only hope is to recover the Amulet of Kings from Manca Cameron. I have everything necessary for the ritual to use the Xarxes to open a portal to Cameron's paradise. Remember, the portal will close behind you, so you will need to take... As a young man, I grew impatient with Mages Guild restrictions, as did many of my fellow apprentices. We threw ourselves into the riddles of Daedric magic. We hungered for forbidden secrets. Knowledge and power were our gods. You can guess the rest. We got in over our heads. People died. My friends died. I've put those days behind me. But the bitter wisdom that one has been a fool is not without value. Farewell, my friend.
Alright, here we are at the end of the video. looking at the fallen comrades. We got Joffrey here, which if you don't remember who Joffrey was, he was basically the monk that we talked to in the beginning of the game that told us to go where to find Martin. So, and he's the one that wanted us to join the Blades, but you know, again, Ragnar was like, no, I'm gonna be going back home anyways. There's no point for me to stay. So, in memory of Joffrey, we took his helmet and you know, just be like, you know, hey, we're gonna remember you. And then we also unfortunately lost Boris, which sucks. For the first time that I went through this, we didn't lose either one, but because the game is weird, we lost both of them. And so we are going to be finding Boris's corpse and taking his sword, you know, just so we can carry on their legacy. And this is going to be the very thing that kind of convinces Ragnar to become a Blade at the end of this and be like Martin's personal bodyguard when this is all over. You know, to stay in Cyrodiil and, you know, just not only protect personally Martin, but to go around Cyrodiil and kind of be that hero Kavat. So in other words, this is the reason why we're not going to be leaving Cyrodiil, just so we can continue playing the entire game, you know, give that little lore thing going and, you know, stuff like that. So, but yeah, but after seeing Boris and Joffrey give their lives to Martin, you know, he starts to respect them as warriors and understand what the Blades are, you know, like their goal in life is to be, and that is to, you know, die for their king and all that stuff. And that's exactly what Boris and Joffrey did. So, yeah, so as I said, you know, this is going to be the good reason for Ragnar to, you know, stay in Cyrodiil and stuff like that, especially after the Oblivion crisis. So anyways, but yeah, but in the next episode, we're going to be going into Mankarj Cameron's quote-unquote paradise, which, spoiler alert, is really pretty, but also like Hunger Games is pretty cool. So, yeah, and I'm going to make sure the mic's working next time. So, but anyways, yeah, sorry for this weird episode, but I did what I could, you know, with what I had. So thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.